Yeah, and that is very juicy, hey. It's a very soft, melt in your mouth fruit. Nicely, I've let it ripen perfectly, really. 100% orange on the outside, and slightly soft when you give it a light squeeze. I think you can see it sparkling there, can't you? I'll just quickly have a taste, so because the video's long already, isn't it? But yeah, this is the update 2024, and what a winner. This fruit is a winner. This fruit's so good, folks. Okay, I'll fall a bit out. Here we go. Oh, it is like, I'm not joking here, this is like, it's like candy. It's so sweet. The taste is so good. It really is exceptional. Exceptional. Credits to your Sandnes. This is an exceptional fruit. It's so juicy. So much juice. It's just incredible. Hey. I'll see if I can pulp it. See, look at that, I've just pulped it very easily. Turned it into a puree. Beautiful stuff, hey, beautiful. Okay, well, let's get back to the video. I just wanted to point that out to you anyway. The strain is getting better. Second year round, like a lot of fruit trees. First harvest, good, but second harvest, exceptional. Well, first harvest even very good, but this is exceptional now. Okay, folks, on with the show. Hello, my friends. It's the 5th of April, 2023. And I thought this might be a good time to give you a taste test of my Red Dragons, my Red Dragon Papaya. See, so this tree, it's about a year and a half old now. It's been a joy to grow. I've got 2 others here beside it as well. I've only got 3 in the ground. I've got a bunch up the back there still in pots that need to be put in the ground soon. But yeah, it's been a real performer, but there's been a few disappointments as well. But I think it's a good time to give you a taste test. And I've already tasted a fair few of these fruit. So we've got at least one there that's fully tree ripened. And like, well, summer's over now, it's autumn. We had a very hot autumn for the first month. It's just cooling off now, so I thought this is about as good as it's going to get for a taste test. You know, the heat brings out the sugars, so it's just starting to cool off, and these trees will be slowing right down in growth soon. And my one disappointment is how small these fruit are, because they really were advertised to be a lot bigger. I'm pretty sure, I'll have to recheck on that, but I'm pretty sure he said at least 1.5 kilos on average, up to 2 kilos, if I remember correctly. So yeah, this tree put out a lot of fruit over winter, and some of them were half the size. They were ridiculously small because of winter. Yeah, and I was hoping they'd get bigger over summer, but that's about as big as they're going to get, I think. And it really seems it's in the genetics. I don't really think it's any failings in my growing. So, and I've eaten a fair few now, and I think I can agree with him on the taste. They're extremely good. They're very delicious taste, so that's the big plus. The seed supply says they're the best tasting red papayas he's ever tried. And I could be inclined to agree with him there that they are good, they taste good. But I'm just surprised at how small they are. I was hoping this tree would have commercial value. It still might, even, you know, because a lot of people might like a smaller papaya. But as for me, I do prefer a bigger papaya, like my Thai strain. You know, I'm really realising now how good my Thai strain is. It's a much bigger fruit, get 3 or 4 times bigger than these fruits. Extremely delicious. It's a bit of a toss-up. Maybe this one is a little bit better. I don't know if I'm being biased at all, because I think mine comes very close at least. Maybe I'm more used to the taste of mine, but mine are pretty damn good, hey? But anyway, this tree bears a lot quicker. There's supposed to be no males ever. They're all self-pollinating. Here's the one that's been in the ground for less time. It's putting out a lot of fruit now, and even that there's a younger one there again. They're all the same age actually, but they've all gone in the ground at different times, and that plays a big role in their growth actually. So they sort of have the appearance that they're, you know, that's the oldest, a little bit younger and a little bit younger, but they're all the same age. It's just the time they went in the ground. Yeah, but we'll pick this fruit, I think, and I'll give it a taste and try and describe it to you. Yeah, very interesting tree, very interesting strain. The Red Dragon. From seed they start flowering in only 4 months. That's just miraculous. There's a lot of really miraculous things about this tree. And it's lived up to everything I was hoping for, except for the size of the fruit. Personally, I am disappointed in the size of the fruit. But a lot of people might like that. And unless I got a bad bunch genetically, but it really seems like this is as big as they're going to get. Certainly on my trees anyway. Hi folks. Okay, this is a full year has passed since I've made all the rest of that video. But I just wanted to put in a little bit of an update just to show you about the weight. But here's the Sandnes Farms website, and this is a Red Dragon Papaya for sale here. And well, I haven't looked at this for a year or more, but I've discovered immediately they've now registered the name. They didn't have that before. Red Dragon Thai Dwarf Papaya, and I've got to admit it's a beauty. It's damn good, especially like now. I'll just say for the record, a year later the fruit has really improved. Like, the fruit was very good at the beginning, and I don't know if it's just me, like it could be a bit of that, me getting more used to the taste and falling more in love with the taste, but I do think the flavour has improved too. I do honestly think, and that often does happen with fruit trees. The second harvest a year later was better. A year later, I'm picking the fruit now, and they are fantastic. There's like, they really are, like, I can't deny it now. Okay, so for the record, a year later, just remember this little bit. So it's 2 years down the track now, and without doubt, I've got to agree with the seed grower. These are the nicest papayas I've ever eaten. They are superb. But here's me one little grievance, and I can make more leeway for that now too with the superb flavour. So yeah, the specifics about this papaya. Yeah, registered now, and I think it's definitely worth it. It's a damn good papaya. But yeah, here's my little annoyance, or that I was feeling annoyed about, and I mentioned in this video. Fruit, 1.5 to 2.5 kilo. Now I'll just say again, unless I got a different batch of seeds, there's no way on earth that my strain of fruit will get that big. Because there's an enormous purity. They're very pure. Every plant's the same. So I find at their biggest, they're 500 grams. So they're a third of 1.5 kilo, 500 grams. That's as big as my fruit get. No bigger. So I was disappointed in that. I've been disappointed in that for a long time. I wanted a bigger fruit. I was looking at it for commercial reasons, or just dreams about going much more commercial. See, there we go, to give you some scale. That light's sort of playing up, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, that's about as big as they're going to get. Mine, anyway. And I've tried everything. I've given them all the food they need. So there we go. That's it. Actually, it's still a little green on the tips. I'll have to give it a day or two to ripen up some more, I think, just to bring out its full flavour. And then I'll eat it and try and describe it all to you. But yeah, a lot of people might like that. It still might have commercial value. It's more of a snacking papaya, isn't it? Whereas my others are so big, they're like for a family, or certainly a meal for one person. Yeah, interesting tree. Red Dragon. The Red Dragon. And it's going to give me a fair few fruit over its lifetime for sure. And particularly when I get more in, I want to plant at least another 6. Probably more. But after seeing how small they are, I've started sprouting my own seeds again too. I want more of my own plants. My own special Thai strain. Yeah, but this one, it's a good taste, eh? This Red Dragon. It is very delicious. So I'll show you soon when this is ripe. I'll show you inside. Okay, it's time for a taste test. My voice has gone a bit funny again. Hopefully not too bad, you can understand me. I got to keep going, haven't I? So, but yeah, Red Dragon Taste Test. So the fruit there on the left, that's the one I picked off the tree on the video a few days ago. I've put it aside and it's ripened up, but unfortunately it's been savaged by those drain flies in the fruit fly family. I thought I put it in a good spot so it wouldn't get eaten, but it still got nipped, which is such a shame. But there's just stacks of those things around. So I hope you can forgive me for that. I've tried, but yeah, it's a real battle to stay on top of those things. I need the right equipment. I need like larders that have fruit fly netting. That's what you need to store these things, otherwise they'll just get your fruit, especially the papayas. They love the papayas. So, you know, that almost defeats the purpose, doesn't it, waiting a few days for it to ripen up, and then I'm going to have to cut all that fruit off. But I'll give you all that rotten stuff, but I'll give you a look anyway. Here's one I picked today, actually, the same, almost identical, isn't it, actually? to how it looked a few days ago. Yeah, that's one I just picked today. Perhaps even I'll slice that one, hoping, I don't know. Although maybe not. Knowing me, I'll take my chances again. I like them ripe. I like my fruit ripe. After years of buying green garbage from Woolies and supermarkets, I've been a real stickler for ripe fruit, as tree ripe as possible. But yeah, that's a lot more presentable looking, isn't it? And I just thought actually today, this afternoon, I had to pick these fruit. These are some of my own fruit, from my own strain. See, and that's interesting, isn't it? How much bigger they are. They're approximately 4 times bigger. These are my biggest 2 of the season this year. I lost a lot of trees over winter of my own strain. But yeah, this is a very interesting Thai strain. And they're close to 2 kilos, well, particularly the one there. That's nearly 2 kilos, that, and that one's a little bit less, but it's got a bite taken out of it as well. And, well, you know, the big selling point for these Red Dragons is the taste. The seed supplier says they're his best tasting red papayas. And I think I can agree with him. I've eaten a fair few and they are good. But as I said, I'm really disappointed with the size. They're so small, but again, some people might really like that, might really like the smaller size. Whereas these are quite a meal, you know, there's quite a bit of eating involved in these things. Or just slice it up for a family. So maybe I'll start, we'll weigh it, we'll weigh them up, eh? And see how it compares. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't say they're going to be this small. So I don't know what's going wrong, unless I got a bad batch of seeds. But I'm pretty sure he said they were 1 kilo to 2 kilo. Generally, I think maybe 1.5 kilo. No, they just don't measure up to that. And I don't think it's my growing either. I really don't. I think it's in the genetics. Because actually these ones you'll see, I don't know if I'll flash in and give you a quick look at the vision. I should, I guess. But these are from stands of papayas where it's much more clumped up. Hi friends, just a very quick update today. 8th of April 2023. Voice has gone funny again. These are my biggest papayas this year. They just ripened up. I had bigger last year, but I better pick it because as you can see there's a bite on it up there. Yeah, but good size, eh? And that one there's even bigger. Good size. I'll pick it now because the bats are going into a bit of a frenzy. They attacked a few of my papayas last night, so better get these off. So yeah, pity about that bite, but otherwise most of it's good. Nice big size. Getting dark, but I hope you can see that okay. And this one behind is going to be even bigger. I better pick that one too. It's not as ripe, but I better get it. Oh, what a beauty. It's a good one, this one. Yeah, nothing's beating to that one. Good. Now that's nice, eh? Good size. That'd be about 2 kilo, I think. Very close to it. Hi again. I thought I'd better just give you a look at these in better light. Not quite as late in the afternoon. And I think I've got a little bit more voice again today. So this is the next day, the 9th of April 2023. And yeah, these are the last of my papayas, last of my fruits. This is just a tiny little strip of ground here. There's less than a metre in here. Normally I've got my car parked right up in there. So it's less than a metre of space there between the car and the fence. So yeah, it's a productive little strip there. Get a lot of papaya fruit out of a spot that's not much good for anything else really. And these are the last of my fruits on these trees. Still a bit shadowy, isn't it? It's about 5 in the afternoon. Yeah, I've had a pretty good run with these trees over the last month or so. And these are the last fruits to go on these 3. So yeah, and this is my own strain. They're quite clumped up, aren't they? They're in quite thick, but they still perform well and give me good fruit. That tree did real well. It's finished fruiting now. I picked my last fruit off that a few days ago. Yeah, so these are all sort of finishing up, and these ones are just starting. You saw I picked 3 off that yesterday, and I picked 1 off it a few days before that. So yeah, there's not many fruits on that, but they're big. They're nice big fruits. So yeah, there's one there's got a bit of colour. Yeah, there's a few up there that have a tiny bit of colour too. I'll have to pick them soon, because the flying foxes are getting hungry, it seems. The fruit bats. And then I've got these 2 clumps that are only just starting up. So again, they're only small plants that have been growing in too much shade for a long time. But they just managed to poke out and get a bit of sun over summer. Still very shady, isn't it? I still can't quite get some light in there. Oh, there we go, it's a bit better I think. But yeah, a couple of nice little clusters of papayas coming on there. Even a couple new ones just growing. So yeah, they're just starting up now. I'll be picking them over the next month, I guess, these 3. And yeah, it's been good. Nice little productive area. Making use of some space that, you know, otherwise wasn't much good for anything really. And the spread of the papaya isn't as good, probably being clumped up as well. But they are a small tree. They're a dwarf. Dwarf Thai, self-pollinating. Whereas these are as well. These are dwarf Thai, self-pollinating. But I've spread these out better. You know, as you saw just before, they've got a real nice spread about them. I've given them all the fert. They're even growing in a bit of red soil. There's some good red volcanic soil under those papayas. And yet they're small, eh? Disappointingly small, I find. But anyway, we'll just give them a quick weigh up anyway. I've got some scales there. How are we going here? I've got to reset this. This is a dumb set of scales, eh? It was very cheap, but it's a clock. They didn't say that on the... They didn't say that on the... on the package. On the package, they said it's scales, but you open it up, it turns out it's a clock. And it keeps going back to being a clock again. Anyway, there it is on grams. We'll weigh that up. What's it say? So yeah, it's 538 grams. Can you see that? Half a kilo, a bit over half a kilo. 538 grams. Yeah. And I'll just try the other one. The one that hasn't got the bites, the one I picked today. I'll retar it again. Hey. That's nearly exactly the same size, 526. And these are the biggest. You know, I've been picking them all season. I've been picking them since early spring, but those first few were tiny. They were ridiculous. They were so small. They were a third of the size or less. And I was just hoping I was going to get bigger fruit. I've waited all summer. I've been picking a fair few fruit of these actually, and hoping they'd get bigger and better. But this is about as big as they're going to get. So yeah, what have we got there? 526, 527. It just swung a bit there. Yeah, so interesting. 526, 527. And just for interest's sake, I'll show you my papaya and my strain. And most of my strain are big fruit. You know, there's a lot that are not far behind these. Like, these are my biggest, but there was a lot that were very close to these in size. Oh, come on, tar. Waiting, waiting. There we go, 0. So what have we got there? 1,834 grams. 1834. 1 kilo, 834. Yeah, and I picked some last year. My biggest ones last year were more than 2 kilo, I think. A little bit more, a little bit bigger. And I'll be giving seeds to people for those. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll send you seeds of my biggest fruits and also my best tasting fruits. Like, I think my biggest are not far behind in flavour, but the best were a little bit different. The best tended to be a little smaller and long and skinny, but much better tree too. Bears heavier yields and superb flavour. Just very hard. Like, I'm wondering if I'm being biased. I'm almost inclined to think mine are better. Hey, in certainly yield, in many respects. Perhaps taste as well. So I'm trying to take into account that I could be biased, and I'm used to the flavour of my own. There's the one with the bite out of it. Let's see what that comes up to. 1532. 1 kilo, 532. So yeah, they're 3 or 4 times bigger. So yeah, mine tend to set flowers at about 10 months or later. Some like these ones actually a fair bit later before setting flowers, but generally my strain tends to set flowers at 9 or 10 months, its first flowers, whereas the Red Dragon will set flowers at 4 months from seed. 4 months later, setting flowers. So that's incredible. And well, I don't know if there's other factors involved, but that they are bearing fruit at a different time. Like these Red Dragons are setting all their fruit now, but the fruit's been coming off them too. So they set a lot. The first batch that I got these fruits from, the first tree that these fruits came on, it set most of it, or set a lot of fruit in winter. That's a more accurate description. It set a lot of fruit in winter. A lot of them are too small. These are the biggest. But that tree's still setting fruit, so it just seems to keep going. It seems to keep going all through summer, spring, summer, autumn. Seems to, that's what I'm discovering so far. And I've got two other smaller ones. They're the same age, but I planted them in the ground a bit later. And they're, at the moment, they're really setting a lot of fruit too now. Whereas my strain, they set their fruit, well, mine tend to start setting fruit just before summer, late spring, summer. They tend to be setting fruit. And the fruit grows very fast, and I'm usually picking fruit now, you know, the end of summer, early autumn, right through to late autumn. These Red Dragons are extremely good taste though, extremely good. But so are mine. Possibly I could agree with the grower here, the seed grower. Perhaps is the better. So I'll have another taste. Look, I've been eating a lot of mine and not too many of these. So yeah, I'll just give it another taste test. I suppose we've seen all we want to see at the scales now, don't we? So yeah, I'll open this up and we'll give it a taste test. Slice all this rotten stuff off. Which is terrible, isn't it? Terrible shame because of those bugs. You might even see a couple just buzzing around here now even. They're in the fruit fly family. I think the correct term for them is drain fly. And we've got a really serious problem with them in Brisbane now. I've found in the trying to do research on them. They are a real problem in Brisbane. They certainly are a problem here for me and my red papayas. And I keep putting them in different spots and trying all sorts of things to stay on top of them. And well, this year has been pretty bad for them. And they tend to leave the fruit alone while it's on the tree outside. It's when they come inside in their house, which is quite disgusting when you think about it, isn't it? These things thrive in the house, on my fruit, nothing else really, and mostly my papaya. They just love my papaya, hey? Which maybe says a lot for them. But there we go, anyway, all that's lost. Pity, isn't it? But that's just beautiful looking flesh there. I can tell. It's very soft and perfectly ripe. So we'll slice that open. Yeah, first observation. Yeah, I'll try, and even though I've eaten a fair few of these, hopefully I can still give you a fairly accurate description, maybe more accurate even in some ways. But the fruit is very soft. That's what I've noticed there at the knife. Very soft, much softer than mine. Mine tends to be firmer, my fruit. And the seeds are smaller too, by the way. The seeds are half the size, and I want to keep those seeds. I've been collecting those. I was hoping to have a bigger seed, but that'll have to do. So again, as you may have noticed before when I've done taste tests with my papaya, I keep the seeds out of the middle. The seeds on the end I don't want. See, so they'll go on in the rubbish there. I don't want those seeds. Apparently, I don't know how much truth is in it, but I'll go with what I've been told by some skilled growers in Malaysia. Is you want the seeds out of the middle of your fruit. So from about there back, and I'll leave the two ends of seeds there. So yeah, it's a small seed, maybe even less than half the size of my seeds. And yeah, I've got a small collection of those seeds now. And I'm still not sure if that's exactly what I want. I'm still like, well, you know, like the grower said the fruit would be bigger. And they're clearly not, so it makes me wonder, has he given me the wrong seeds or what? What's happened? But as for taste, you know, I got to agree with them there that they taste very good. And I guess I'll be happy to have these growing. But since I've seen how small they were for a while, I was just so trusting on what he was saying about them. I was losing interest in my own strain. But now since I've grown some of these and seen how small they are, I've gone straight back to growing some more of mine. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my strain. Pretty happy. And even Daly's Fruit Tree Nursery, one of Australia's best fruit tree nurseries, they saw some of my seeds and photos on, some of the photos of my plants and descriptions on Osrare Fruit, and they contacted me and wanted seeds. And I was happy to give them to them too. I gave them quite a few seeds. And I think, because I've been trying to selectively breed my strain for the last 10 years, but you know, it's brilliant breeding to begin with. They're Thai seeds, you know, so people have been selectively breeding these seeds for hundreds of years. So I'm starting with something pretty good, aren't I? But I didn't, you know, 10 years of just trying to perfect the strain to how I want it. You know, that's worth stressing too, that, you know, the traits that I picked may not be everyone's choice. But I think I did a pretty good job of it. But now I'm happy to give my seeds to Daly's because, well, they're professionals, and hopefully, like, there's still room for more selected breeding. And those guys could, if they grow a lot of these plants, that's where you need a bit of room to grow a lot of these plants. And they could come up with something really special, hey? And acclimatised, like I guess mine are getting acclimatised. They didn't start off that way, you know, they came originally from Thailand. And yeah, and I've had them in Queensland, southeast Queensland for 10 years now. So yeah, Daly's is down in northern New South Wales, so it's even cooler down there. So that'll give them more cold tolerance. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Daly's come up with. I guess they'll give them their own name one day. I'd love if they gave me a bit of recognition, actually. Or just mention they got the seed from me. I should have asked for that before I gave them to them, which I didn't. And I guess they'll put their own name on the seeds one day. But it could be something pretty damn special too. They could come up with something very nice. And it's just nice, I'm happy to see that. Because then my work isn't going to waste. Because yeah, as you realise, well, I'm not sure what my future's going to bring. So it's just nice to see that some of my work is not going to waste. Okay, well that's the rubbish seeds there, but that's the seeds I'm keeping from that one fruit. And now we'll give it a taste, hey? Yeah, well, it's perfectly ripe, very close to perfectly tree ripened even. You know, as you remember, this one was a bit like that, maybe a little bit riper. When I picked it, it's had a couple of days to ripen up fully. It's still nice and hot, so this is about as good as they're going to get, I think. Particularly on that one tree anyway. Yeah, very nice, hey? It is extremely nice. Yeah. It's So I've been eating a fair few of my own just lately. And that actually is basically melt in your mouth. That's so soft it just basically disintegrates in your mouth. Very sweet. Not just the sweetness, to a very good taste. Yeah, that's essentially melt in your mouth fruit, that. Just got to push it a bit with my tongue and it just falls to pieces. Yeah, I'm switching again back to, lately I started to think, well, mine are just as good in flavour. But I might be being a little bit biased and trying to be as critical as I can. I think, yeah, maybe these are a better taste. Maybe these are, as the seed supplier says, or he says they're his best tasting reds. Although, as you can see too, they're not really a red, are they? They're more of an orange. But people just tend to call them all reds these days. But yeah, that is a very good flavour. Very good. I'd need one of those bricks meters, hey, to judge how much sugar's in it. But I think it'd be safe to say they're sweeter than mine. They're certainly softer than mine. They're certainly smaller than mine. Which I didn't want, but yeah, that is a good papaya. A very good papaya. Yeah, I've got to give them that. From San Nes Farms. They're pretty well the only people that sell these seeds, I think. And they got to acclimatise to southeast Queensland. But yeah, again, Thai seeds. An amazing strain, really. 97% true to type. That's something that really made me gravitate to them, because mine have a lot of variation still. Even with 10 years of selective breeding, mine still have a fair bit of variation. And when I first got the strain, there was a lot of variation. And some papayas were pretty average, actually. Not very big bearers, not the best taste, but yeah, they had quite a range of all hermaphrodite or self-pollinating. Not a single male. I've never got a single male out of my strain, and these are guaranteed to be the same. There's no males at all ever, so there's a huge advantage there when you're growing large amounts of them. You're not wasting space with males. Every plant will fertilise itself. I think they describe it as they're all either pure female or hermaph, and they're all self-pollinating. Will set flowers in 4 months from seed. That's incredible, isn't it? But yeah, I'm pretty sure the way I've grown, it was a little hard to be exactly sure, but I think that's pretty right. I think that's pretty true. They're very fast at setting flowers. Whereas mine, well, I don't think I've seen one of mine set flowers before 9 months. So it's more than twice as long. And as I said before, seems to be a perpetual bearer. Seems to be, if you had a few of them, it's quite possible you could be perpetually picking fruit all year round with this strain, with the Red Dragon. Maybe not in winter, it might slow down in winter, but certainly, these, I've been picking these spring, summer, autumn. They've been coming off this tree. So that's pretty interesting, hey? If there's one tree, I've only picking off one tree so far. I've got 2 more coming up, and hopefully soon I'll have room to plant another 6 or more. But yeah, they've been perpetually giving me fruit for all of spring, all of summer, and looks pretty much like it'll be all of autumn as well. And they're even setting fruit in winter. Mine don't set fruit in winter. Mine tend to pretty much always be, they're still a little staggered, but they tend to set fruit, as I said before, late spring, early summer, they set their fruit. And yeah, they grow very fast then, being summer. And yeah, picking them by, late spring, early summer, they're setting fruit. Late summer, autumn, the fruit's coming off. Yeah, I'm probably giving you too much information about my own strain, aren't I? You know, if you just want to know about these Red Dragons, well, they certainly pass the taste test. They really do. And perhaps even with most people, it's hard to say what, it's hard to guess what people like the best, isn't it? You've sort of got to be a bit psychic to know what they like. But possibly even most people might prefer a smaller papaya, particularly in Australia, because we tend to be not big fruit eaters compared to some countries. But yeah, maybe that's an ideal size fruit for many people. It's just a nice snack size, not really a meal for one person. Yeah, it still could have commercial potential. I'll certainly be hanging on to the seeds. But yeah, I plan on planting more of these, but I want to plant a lot more of mine too. I just love mine. And I thought I was really going to swing away from mine and go into these, but the factor that's slowed me down is the size. I wanted bigger fruit. That's to be honest. Whether I'm right or wrong, but yeah, I was thinking and I was looking at it as a commercial variety to sell because they're a lot more uniform. Yeah, 97% true to type. So that's, good for selling, I think, good for marketing. They're all good and all the same. Whereas mine are all, well, look at it, that's two off the same tree and the difference in shape. Hey, can you see those okay? Two off the same tree, and that one's sort of quite bulbous at the end, isn't it? Sort of flares out. Yeah, compared to this one. Yeah, and different size too, 500 grams difference. Whereas these, well, there's quite a few now coming off, all exactly the same size basically. Like there was only a few grams difference between the weight of these two, wasn't there? And well, I don't know if it'll do it this winter. It'll be interesting to see, but last winter there was 30 or more fruit. That was too small for anything. I'm sure you couldn't sell them. That they were some of them were even a quarter of the size of that. Fruit that set and grew through winter. But that's understandable being winter. Maybe this tree will do the same this winter too. I hope not, but it might. Hey my friends, I just sort of give you a quick look at what these Red Dragon Papaya can be like over winter, the small ones. This is what I mean by how small they can be. Because I'm getting a fair few of these now over winter. At least they give me a fruit. My other ones won't give me much. It's very rare to get fruit off my own strain of dwarf type papaya. But these Red Dragons, I get fruit off them almost all year. And over winter they still set fruit, but it's very small. And it's summer now, but early summer, still picking quite a few of these fruits. And you know, you could almost say it's ridiculous, the size. It's very small, isn't it? But they're good. Like, you know, they're delicious. They still are delicious. But that's small, hey? It's not even a meal by itself. I've added a few bananas. I've got 3 bananas there as well. And that's you know, a bit of an entree. But yeah, been getting a fair few of these because I've got 3 red dragons bearing fruit now. And yeah, you know, oh, I don't know. I do like the taste. I do kind of, I am attached to the trees, but I'm amazed at how small they are. Yeah, well, I've said more than I thought I was going to be able to say anyway. But yeah, definitely gets a thumbs up with flavour. And maybe I would be biased if I said mine are just as good. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe these are a better tasting papaya. Well, not even maybe, I think so. I think so. These are very good. Red Dragon Papaya from Sandnez Farms. On eBay. You'll find them on eBay. Sandnez Farms. And you'll find amongst my videos too, I do a review of Sandnez. They're the best papaya grower and supplier. Best papaya seed grower and supplier in Australia, possibly even the world. Sandnez Farms on eBay. They've got a fantastic range of papayas, and I do a fairly long review of them actually on one of my YouTube videos. I go on for nearly 2 hours actually, showing off all their different seeds and just giving my viewpoints on them, all the different strains they have. And yeah, you know, essentially it comes down to they've mostly all got good Thai strains. And yeah, even now the more I learn about Thai plants, food plants, they've got some of the best strains in the world. Like, they really are some of the world's best gardeners, the Thais. And they've spent hundreds of years. You know, the civilization goes back a long way, the Thai civilization. Well, it was another civilization before the Thais, but, you know, there's been, oh, it's more than hundreds of years actually. I think it's even a couple of thousand years of civilization there in a tropical region. And naturally farmers selectively breed. They just do. They just do that without even, you know, it's a very quick jump from going to being a farmer to a selective breeder. You know, picking out the seeds from your best plants and continuing on the strains, you know. And then as each generation comes, it's a new generation of farmers and they selectively breed. And some traits are a no-brainer really, aren't they? I guess taste preferences might change over generations, but certainly people looking for things that will yield well, that'll bear fruit fast. They're all sort of traits that the general population is looking for, aren't they? Heavy yielding plants bear heavy crops, that bear crops fast, that bear crops for a long time. There's all sorts of factors like that. When you think people have been doing it for, as in the Thai, where all Thai seeds are coming from now, when you think people have been doing that for 2,000 years, you know, you've really got something, hey? You've really got something, because they were civilizations. You know, when man becomes civilized, he gets into agriculture, and yep, there's 2,000 years of civilization there, if I got it right. So it's pretty much something like that. Okay, yeah, that is a very nice papaya. And I will risk this other one. I want it to ripen up more. Even if I do have to cut a bit off. Because there's just no substitute for fully ripened fruit. And also I'm getting a bit of a backlog on my own fruit. I've got other fruit that is even more ripe that I've got to eat up soon. At the moment I'm picking so many fruit again. So many of my own homegrown papayas. And it's a case of eat, 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 or they go in the bin. Or I can pass some on to friends soon, of course. Well, okay, I hope you found that interesting, my friends. The Red Dragon Papaya from Sandnes Farms on eBay. I'm disappointed in the size. I don't know if there's, maybe there's some mistake there. I've got to give them leeway. Maybe there's some mistake there. But these particular ones, pretty sure they're not going to get much bigger. I'm pretty sure that's in the genetics. I don't think I've made any mistakes. It's a small fruit, not a big fruit like was promised. But, what's the most important factor? I'm inclined to think taste. I am. The commercial guys don't always go for taste, do they? They take in other factors. But yeah, this is a very delicious papaya. And well worth growing, I think. Well worth having. A real performer of a tree. And well worth having. Very good flavour. Okay. That's it, I guess. That wraps it up. Oh yeah, I just had these there. I'm just picking these again. Brazilian cherries. Very nice, eh? These are good. I heard there's a lot of variation in the fruits between different trees. A lot of variation in the seeds. And some don't taste so special. But it seems, well, I've certainly got a good tree. I've got a tree that's wild. I know where it came from though. It came from a hedge. Some neighbours have a front fence of these cherries. The trees are very tough and they make a good hedge. They've got like a 6 or 7 foot, 8 foot even impenetrable Brazilian cherry hedge fence. And that's where the seeds come from. Perhaps they've been chosen for being a good tasting fruit, I imagine. And that hedge would be, 20 years old at least, maybe a fair bit older. So it could possibly be a Brazilian cherry variety that's been growing in Redcliffe for 50 years. It's possible, certainly at least, not a day less than 20 years. And, well, they're really good. They're really nice. I can't fault these fruit. I've planted quite a few seedlings of these. Yeah, again, they say there's variation in the seeds, but it's good parentage anyway. The mother plant, these fruit, they're good. They're very nice. Another very good tree to have in your yard, I think. Very tough, very hardy, bears a lot of fruit. I got about 5 harvests from this last year, this strain. Yeah, well, that's it. Thanks for watching, my friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.